Hi, Priyank. Welcome to Conversations on Data.
Thanks, Avish. Thanks for having me.
It is my pleasure. So, a lot of things I want to talk about. I think let's get started right away. First of all, could you tell us a little bit about you and your current role as a finance controller at Sharrp Ventures? And I would also love to know what does a typical day look like for you?
Sure. So, as a finance controller at Sharp Ventures, my role primarily involves overseeing and managing the financial operations of the family managed entities. This includes costs management, budgeting. Budgeting includes both operational as well as capital, forecasting, tax optimization, compliance, financial reporting, cash flow management, estate planning, and restructuring at group level. When I say group level, I and my team manage several entities, trusts, and individual accounts. So you actually get to see a macro picture and the owner's mindset. Uh, One of the interesting aspects of my role, which I enjoy about, is that no 2 days are the same. Each day brings in a new set of challenges and opportunities, whether it's addressing unexpected financial issues, or it might be working on some strategic projects like restructuring, or adapting to ever evolving compliance environment in India. This variety of work keeps the work this variety keeps the work more dynamic and engaging.
Awesome. So, in a personal capacity, what is it that attracted you to a career in finance? And how did you ultimately choose to work in a family office setting?
Oh, you are asking this of a Gujarati. Um, well, we are born with a calculator in hand. Finance is practically in my DNA. My grandpa was a banker. That's actually how the surname has come up. And my father was in accounting. I wasn't given much of a choice but to follow the family legacy, and so here I am. Uh, as for the family office setting, it's like choosing the deluxe version of the finance career. You get to handle everything from cash flow to estate planning to restructuring to tax optimization, all with a personal touch. It's like you are the chief financial chef of in a family kitchen where every recipe is unique and every ingredient matters. Plus, in a family office, as I told you, you get to see a macro picture and you understand the owner's mindset, which means that you are getting a VIP access straight to the financial backstage. Uh, in short, the dynamic nature of the role keeps things very, very exciting. Every day brings a new challenge, opportunities. So it's more of a fun than just balancing the books.
Got it. Um, you do have a quite a diverse educational background. So, correct me if I'm wrong and add as required. So, a CFA, a CA, CS, CMA. I would like to know how does that contribute to your success in the role and what are the most valuable skills? And I'm very excited to know this because, I made down a few notes when you mentioned what your current role is, and it seemed to me that it's very broad, right? Compared to, let us say, other finance roles that I typically engage with. So I would love to know how that background, led you to create a successful career in this area. And for somebody who's aspiring to be in this area, what do you think will be the most valuable skills?
Sure. So, well, each of the qualifications that I have complement each other. So, I started my career with CA followed by CS and CMA. I did CFA later in my professional life. The CA qualification gives you a very deep understanding of accounting principles, auditing, taxation, financial reporting. Uh, the CS qualification gives you expertise in, let's say, compliances, corporate law, governance, which are very essential in a corporate setup. The third degree that I have is CMA, which helps me in management accounting, management reporting, performance management, and strategic decision making. But above all, I feel if you want to get into financial services, CFA is one of the most important qualifications because it helps you in understanding investment management. It helps you in financial analysis, portfolio management. So if you are getting into financial markets, or if you are keen in learning valuation techniques or economic principles, I think you should go for CFA. Uh, as you rightly put it, in a family office setup, it's actually the expectations are quite broad. So they will give you a very wide expectations. You have to break it down. You have to understand what all aspects will get affected, and then provide a structured solution to your promoters. So in that sense, all these degrees actually provides me with a uh, it actually equips me with uh, with the knowledge, and so that I can give a holistic solution rather than maybe just a financial solution to my promoters.
Got it. A follow-up question on this. Would you say that this is a similar path to what other people in similar roles have done, or are there different ways in which they end up, picking up the same role in a family office?
Uh, Not really. So, for a backend, so finance controller is a backend function. It's not a front end function. So, when I say backend, we don't deal with the investments directly. So, we deal with compliances, we deal with accounting, we deal with finance, estate planning, all that stuff. So, if you are planning for being a finance controller, I would say uh, degrees like CA and CFA are almost must, so that you can serve something which is more holistic to your supervisor.
Got it. Let's now go one step further. I want to talk about the challenges and opportunities of working as a finance controller, compared to traditional corporate roles that you would find in finance.
Okay. So let's talk about the opportunities first, the positives first. The first one is the flexibility and innovation. So family offices are more flexible, they are more open to innovate because they have a long-term view. Uh, on the contrary, a corporate might look at quarterly results, or may have a short-term view because of stakeholders, expectations. So that is one thing. That's one of the opportunities that family office offers. The second opportunity is you directly work with the promoters of the group, so you can leverage the already evolved processes and systems of the group companies. You get straight access to the CXOs of the companies and the network of the promoters, which is another plus point. Third is you can make a personal impact. So the environment is less bureaucratic. There's less of delegation of authority. It's like you and directly the promoter. So you can actually see the work done getting implemented and the impact it is making on the family office. So it's more of fulfilling job. I would put it that way. Uh, Having said that, it is not without it doesn't come without challenges. So the first one is, as I told you, we get a very wide scope of responsibilities. So uh, you have to break it down, provide a structured a solution to the supervisor. um, you may get involved in the aspects which may not be directly relevant to finance but are related to the problem statement. So, for example, uh, you might get involved in aspects of HR, or you might get involved in aspects of IT. So, actually, whatever a promoter does, you are just replicating that. So, sometimes it becomes a little challenging in that way. Uh, the second challenge that I feel is the family offices are less structured. So how we have delegation of authority in corporates, it may not be the same in family offices, which might make a person little uncomfortable if they have worked in a very corporate setup. The third one is high stake. So you are working on something which deals with the family legacies, personal wealth. So there might be high level of expectations, and your work might have a high level of impact on the family's personal lives. So it is necessary that you deal with it very cautiously. So yeah, I feel these are the certain opportunities and challenges in working in a family office setup.
Perfect. So I was going through your profile, and there was a mention of the sale of a CPG brand to a Fortune 500 company. So I would like to know more about it. If you could elaborate on that experience and also tell us what were the key financial considerations and the lessons that were learned from that entire exercise.
Sure. So it was one of my first big projects at Sharp Ventures where we had to sell a CPG brand to a Fortune 500 company. It all started with creation of a financial model, which went to the Big Four firm, who would make a complete evaluation, Excel based on that financial model. Uh, why it was difficult? Because a lot of areas, lot of pieces were missing actually. So it was like trying to solve a giant jigsaw puzzle with a lot of missing pieces. So I had to predict growth, I had to add new products, and I had to project a lot of other stuff, which turned Excel into a complicated mess. After we went through this valuation exercise and all, we had to handle financial and legal due diligence. This meant that the consulting firm had to dig into every risk and detail about the brand. Now, since this CPG brand was a startup, it did not have much of systems and processes in place. So getting through this due diligence was really a challenge. We got through that as well. After closing all this due diligence, we had to close the legal agreements with the Fortune 500 company, which felt like running on a marathon with a lot of hurdles in the way. I had to coordinate with their HR team, supply chain, finance, M&A, legal, all of them, with just one me and my supervisor on the brand side, and this entire teams on the other side. They also had the CXOs involved, so it was like working on a very lightning speed. It was really challenging because I had never done that before, but yeah, it was a fulfilling experience at the end because everything went well. So yeah,
Awesome. Very exciting.
yeah.
Um, so, Sharp Ventures, as a family office, how do you view the big four accounting firms? Are they competitors? Are they potential partners? Neither or both of them?
So at Sharp Ventures, Big Four are considered as potential partners. We don't consider them as competitors because of several reasons. So first, they have good amount of knowledge on advanced tax planning or intricate compliance issues, which may not be available in-house. So that's one of the skills that they bring in. Second, they also help in estate planning, which is at the core of for any family office. Third, they provide traditional services like auditing, due diligence, or valuation, which are very crucial in navigating very important financial landscapes. So what we do is we establish network with the Big Four so that we can leverage whenever need be, whenever we require them. So, yeah.
Got it. What are the financial software or tools that you find most effective for portfolio monitoring and reporting in a family office setting?
Well, I can't name the specific software we use because that would mean that I'm endorsing one over the other. But I can definitely tell you which all areas, how this tool helps us across different areas. So we
Okay.
use software for managing deal flow. So when I say deal flow, we have a team which looks after the unlisted investments. So in order to manage the entire deal flow, we have a software for it. Once an investment is made, it is necessary that we monitor it regularly. So monitoring their financial metrics. We have a separate software for that. We call it a post-investment monitoring tool. We also use softwares for creating management reports, handling compliances, and managing HR aspects. Uh, these softwares are useful in multiple ways. So the first aspect is centralization of data. So your data gets centralized at one place, making it very easy to access whenever need be. Second is reduction of errors. So, manual methods are prone to errors. So system generated report is quite helpful. Third is it increases efficiency. So, your bandwidth get released, so that you can use your team for other important stuff rather than just, data entering. Uh, your data analysis becomes simplified. Uh, uh, your HR documentation, for which we have a specific software, that becomes streamlined. And the most important, which we look at from a finance controller point of view, is managing compliances. So we have a separate software for it. Considering that India has host of compliances, be it at national level or state, or at corporation level as well, it is necessary that we have a compliance software as well, which would make tasks efficient and keeps everything on track. So we have a compliance software as well. So in a nutshell, we resort to a lot of softwares. Uh, we are trying to we are trying to make it holistic from a point of view that um, if everything can be at one place, but I think that's a difficult task. So yeah, we'll have to manage it separately, but yeah, software dependence is necessary from a family office point of view.
Makes sense. How do you approach capital budgeting and investment decision making within a family office? And specifically, how does it differ from the traditional corporate finance method of doing it?
Okay, so I would put it in five buckets. There are five ways in which your capital budgeting in family office is different from a traditional corporate finance. First is long-term vision. So the family offices have a very long-term vision, long-term goals, and they want to preserve wealth so that it can be seamlessly transferred from one generation to another, uh, which might be contrary to a traditional corporate setup because they might prioritize short-term returns or quarterly results. But we emphasize on long-term vision of the family. Second is flexibility and innovation. So we are more flexible to get innovative or to explore unconventional investment opportunities. Unlike traditional corporate settings, which might be constrained by their established processes, we have we can take a more creative approach based on families' unique vision. The third is the third I would put it risk tolerance and risk tolerance capabilities. So uh, you know traditional corporate finance might be able to take risks based on industry norms or shareholders expectations, while we have a different level of risk tolerance at families level. Fourth one is personalized goals. So in the family office setting, the family might have goals over and above investment. So maybe they will have their own philanthropic initiatives. They might have their own personal interests, or they might have specific legacy goals of transferring certain amount of wealth to the next generation, uh, which may not be the case at in traditional corporate finance. So that is how we are different. And the fifth, but most important, I feel of all, is the speed of decision making. So in traditional corporate finance, you will have to undergo delegation of authority. You will have to go through the bureaucratic, chain of command, which may not be the case at a family office. The family office is generally very lean in lean structure. You can directly approach the owners and get a sign off rather than going through the bureaucratic process. So yeah, I think it is completely different ball game when you compare it with traditional corporate finance.
Great. So we come to the second half of our conversation, and I want to talk about global expansion. So, we have all heard about Indian family offices expanding their presence globally. Uh, could you share with us what are the driving factors behind this trend?
Okay. So before going to the driving factors, let's talk about, let's name certain family offices which have gone global. So it's Adani family office, Ambani's family office, Kirloskar, Godrej, Bajaj. Um, so you name them, and most of all have gone global. Uh, there are four reasons why, I mean, there are four driving factors why Indian family offices want to go global. First, which we all may be aware of, diversification. So by spreading your investments in international markets, family offices reduce the risk and can achieve better returns, which may not be possible in volatile domestic markets. Second is wealth preservation. So when you want to safeguard your assets from domestic economic turbulence or political instability or regulatory changes, you might decide to go global. Third is the host of opportunities that global markets offer. So there are a lot of developing countries where the growth rates are higher than India. That is where you get high growth sectors. There are innovative startups which are not available in India, so you get to access that as well. So that is where Indian family offices would decide that it want to into those opportunities as well. And the fourth and the most important one, I feel, is the tax incentives. So a lot of countries offer tax benefits. They have ease of doing business, which family offices do consider while moving out of India.
Got it. Um, so, what are the key financial and regulatory challenges and considerations that family offices have to look at when they are establishing a global presence?
Okay, so before answering, or rather answering this question, I would answer it differently. I would say which all countries Indian family offices look at to set up their international base. So I'd like to name a few, and let's go down to the pros and cons of each of the countries. So the
Right.
first one is Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So the pros is proximity from a distance point of view, uh, tax benefits. So it offers zero personal income tax, competitive corporate tax rates, and it has also got free zones which offer tax incentives. And the third is it's a financial services hub, and it is like its location is quite strategic from point of view that you can access Middle Eastern and African markets. Having said that, there are certain drawbacks to Dubai in terms of its cultural and legal differences. So, navigating through those local cultural and legal norms can be a little challenging, especially if you are not aware as to how that country works. Second is regulatory changes. So, frequent changes in regulation and economic policies can create little uncertainty and might require constant adaptation. The second country on the list is Singapore. Again, it has got good proximity to India. It offers very good tax benefits with zero capital gains tax, and they also offer various business incentives. It's also a financial services hub, excellent financial infrastructure, and very business friendly regulations. One of the drawbacks that Singapore has is it's known for its high cost of living, and which might put a little stress on your operational costs. The third country on the list is Mauritius. Again, known for its tax benefits, lower corporate tax, no capital gains tax. It also has a double taxation avoidance agreement with India. So, from a tax point of view, very lucrative. Again, it's a financial services hub. So, in that sense, it has got a robust banking, insurance, and investment services hub. But from a drawbacks point of view, Mauritius is not seen positively because it's used by a lot of corporates uh, which may not go well with income tax scrutinies. So it's it's not so positive from an income tax standpoint. So that is one of the factors that family offices do look at it from a setting up a base point of view. The fourth one is London. Again, it has got various tax incentives, released for research and development, competitive corporate tax rates, well-established regulatory framework. But um, again, there are drawbacks there as well from a distance standpoint from India. It's quite costly. There is always an uncertainty from a Brexit standpoint, and taxes are little complex. So yeah, these are certain countries which Indian family offices do look at. There are two other countries as well, like Hong Kong and Switzerland, which are like now newly coming up, which Indian family offices are evaluating whether to establish a base or not. So yeah, I mean these are the these are certain countries and pros and cons of each of the countries.
Very helpful. So that was from the office point of view. But if I look at it from a finance controller's point of view, from their perspective, what are the biggest challenges and the rewards of managing a global investment portfolio for a family office?
Okay, so every step of setting up global offices presents a new challenge because each one is unique. On India side, you have to ensure that you get approval from the authorities, meet specific requirements like demonstrating a certain amount of net worth. Uh, well, this might look straightforward, as I'm saying. It can be very, very time consuming and sometimes can be very, very overwhelming. Uh, on the global side, the family office must evaluate service providers like who is going to manage your funds. So the investment manager, the tax advisors, the legal advisors, your auditors, your bankers, your compliance experts. So you'll have to evaluate all of them and find the best one which suits you. This process again is quite extensive because apart from managing the service providers, you will also be in touch with the authorities, their local authorities. So again, it is going to be a little complex and time consuming. Despite this challenging, it's a very enriching experience. You get to learn a lot about what's happening outside India because you are involved in almost each and every stage. So yeah, it becomes a little challenging, but it's a very learning experience in that way.
All right. Let's talk about something else. So, when you are hiring finance professionals, what are the skills and qualities that you're looking for in a candidate?
Okay. So at Sharp Ventures, we have certain defined values which are required in the candidate if you are hiring him or her. There are 5 values which we have to look at. Of course, we look at the technical bit that is given. But apart from technical bit, we have 5 values that we have to look at. The first one is ownership. So you have to be the owner of whatever you are doing and be proactive in everything that you do. Second is authenticity. So you have to be true to yourself. You have to give the best version of yourself at Sharp. The third one is excellence. Delivering world class consistently on the work is something we expect at Sharp Ventures. Fourth one is thinking big. So uh, you have to understand the owner's mindset and you have to think big so that you can deliver a holistic uh, solution to the problem that has been thrown onto your table. And the fifth one, and very important, very close to my heart, is humility. Team first approach is something which we believe in, and appropriate credit wherever needed to all the stakeholders in the organization. So yeah, these are some of the metrics that we evaluate while onboarding an employee at Sharp Ventures.
What are the pieces of advice that you would give to a B school student, who's aspiring to enter a role in a family office setting? And also, what are the career paths available?
So family offices are increasingly becoming a hot destination for B school students because of varied opportunities that the office offers. Some of the key roles that we offer at Sharp on most of the family office offers is investment analyst, which will work directly with the investments team in evaluating a deal. There is a financial analyst, which will work with the financial controller in um, at the entry level. There's portfolio associate, which will look at the portfolio after the investments is made. Another role is compliance and risk analyst, which will look at the compliance and internal controls of the organization. Uh, Another role is tax associate, so that will deal with the taxation bit, and research analyst, which will again work with the investments team. So these are certain positions which are available for the B school students at family office setup.
Perfect. So in the last leg, I want to talk more personal. You mentioned your passion for nurturing talent, and if you would like to share some examples of, what opportunities do you get the chance to work on to nurture, the next set of finance students and mentor them in your team?
So I strongly believe in delegating responsibilities and nurturing young talent. It's easy for leaders to judge their team based on age and hesitate assign important projects, which fortunately is not the case in our office. Uh, when I am handed over any project, I first ensure that I understand the project in full, and then I hand it over to my team. Uh, they manage the project completely under my supervision, which helps grow my bandwidth as well. For example, one of my team members who has been just 1 year into the system is working on a very important project of cyber insurance, just to ensure that there are less cyber attacks. We are not prone to cyber attacks. She has been just 1 year into the system, and she's working on this project, which is very new for all of us. Uh, she has been engaging with the consultant. She has been leveraging our group established policies, and I'm pretty sure she'll come back with some fantastic results. Another example is we have one of the team members who has been just 2 years into the system, and he not only evaluated, got my approval, and implemented a HRMS across all the group entities, and he delivered a fantastic results. So basically, giving them certain amount of independence and empowering them is what I believe in, and I think you can get fantastic results. Having said that, this doesn't come without reporting. So we have fortnightly team meetings where we track project timelines, and all the team members are present. So what happens is you get cross learning. Team member might be involved, might not be involved in one of the projects, but he gets to understand what all projects are going on, what are the learnings that we can get out of it. So there is a good amount of cross learning over there as well. On a personal development front, each team is required to complete a certain number of hours in learning and development, which is attached to their goal sheet. So in case if they don't do that, their goal sheet gets compromised, which directly impacts their variable pay. So in this way, what happens is, not only the organization succeeds, they also feel that they are empowered, and they also learn and develop themselves during the course of journey. So these are certain methods that we use. I personally use at Sharp Ventures to ensure that the young talent also grows in the organization.
Got it. I'm sure the role that you are in as a finance controller is very demanding. So how do you balance your personal and your work life? And how do you take out the time to pursue your personal interests as well?
Yeah, so somewhere you have got to draw a line between your personal interest and professional life. Being efficient in your work is super important. Um, there is 100% probability, or it is given that multiple projects will run simultaneously, and each of them is important, and each of them is a priority. So taking one thing at a time is very, very important. I do occasional meditation, which I think I'll have to regularly do now, given the workload. Uh, but shifting of gears is extremely crucial when you are working in a very high stake issues simultaneously. I pursue my personal goals over weekend, which of late I have not been able to, but I'm trying to be back in action. I hope I can do it soon.
All the very best for that.
Thank you.
Uh, you also mentioned that you're involved in education-related philanthropy. So, would you like to tell us a little bit more about that work, and why is this cause important to you?
Yeah, so I'm associated with an NGO in which we teach underprivileged students. I teach students from class 7 to class 10, and the subjects that I teach is math and English. Uh, it's very it's it's very interesting to note that these students are do have a lot of passion for different subjects. It can be academics, it can be sports, it can be art, or any hobby that they are pursuing. It's just that they don't have proper platform, and sometimes they teach you much more than what you teach them. So yeah, it's very important that you give back to the society. That is what I do. I have been teaching. I still remember that during COVID, when everything was shut, I took online coaching for a grade 7 student for 8 months straight. Except for weekends, we I used to teach her daily. So by the end, there was a very strong bond that was built, and I learned a lot of things from her. I'm not sure how much I could teach her, but I learned a lot of things in terms of expressing gratitude, because till date, it's been 4 years. Till date, she still texts me on Guru Purnima date. So it shows how innocent and how much gratitude they have. It's just that they need the right platform, and they can make wonders. So yeah, glad to make a difference. I hope they get more power for this.
That's wonderful. And let me tell you, while my day job is as a consultant, I think of me as a teacher. I think that is what I associate me to be. And
Sure,
it's one of the most gratifying jobs in the world.
very
Final
true.
question. Any tips that you have for B school students in general? Need not be specifically in finance or in some other area, but your life, your journey, your experiences. If you had to go back to like a younger version of you, what would be the tips that you would give?
So there are 5 tips that I would like to give. First is be a proactive detective. So don't just crunch numbers. Channel your inner Sherlock Holmes. Ask why are you doing whatever you are doing, how it makes an impact on the larger scheme of things, and you will get a lot of answers. So that's the first step. Second is think like a financial DJ. So don't stick to your traditional track that has been assigned to you. Explore the entire playlist, and you will find that business has a lot of other beats than what you would have even thought of. Uh, Third is innovate like a mad scientist. Go wild with ideas, of course, under your management or under your supervisor's instructions. But have you can think whatever, go wild with the whole of ideas that you have, and I think you will get something out of it. Fourth is keep your mind like a sponge. Soak all of the business knowledge that you can. And the fifth one is staying top of trends. What I believe in. So finance is like a fashion. What's in trend today may not be in trend tomorrow. So keep up with trends, tools, techniques, to avoid looking like you are in still financial stone age. So yeah, these are certain tips that I would like to give to the upcoming finance student.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Priyank, for taking out the time. I had an absolute delight. I'm sure and I hope that everybody who listens to it, has some or the other takeaway. Maybe the takeaway in the way we intended, or maybe they know what they don't want to do. I always tell students that when I teach you analytics, maybe when you see me and you see the work that I do, maybe that will tell you this is not a career that you're interested in. So I'm happy either way. I think as long as we are able to give clarity to someone, I think we have done our job. So once again, thank you so much. And I am very sure and confident that everybody who listens will have a lot of learnings from this conversation.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Havish, for having me on this podcast.
Thank you, Priyank.
Thank you. Bye.